Hi, Minesh Baxi here, and I'm really excited. We have the beautiful ladies from the Troy Chamber, Sheila and Tara here, and they are going to do a great job of telling us how the Troy Chamber actually helps the community. I'm a member of the Troy Chamber as well. I've been in Troy a long time, and I can tell you it's a thriving, great chamber, and there is new leadership, new vision. So please welcome Sheila and Tara.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
Fantastic. So obviously, here is the part. Most business people know there is some benefit to joining the chamber, but they're not always sure about what they're really going to get from the chamber. So how do you want to portray, what does Troy Chamber do for the people who are in that community?
Well, I think, I'll start. One of the things is you get what you put into the chamber. So as we grow and we have more members join us, there's more opportunities for them to grow and connect and find more business, find new opportunities, things of that nature. And Sheila can talk a little bit about the membership piece, but someone actually recently came up and said, you know what I like best about the Troy Chamber? And I said, well, what? Like the connections? And her response was, no, I have a good idea of what's happening in business trends.
Interesting.
So you are the news that I appreciate more than watching the news. So it was a really cool way to see how that works with members. But like Sheila obviously oversees all of membership. And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, we've got a very diverse membership, everyone from sole proprietors to some of the larger organizations in the area. And they all have a different want, a different need from the chamber. And one of the cool things that we're able to do is sit and talk with them, figure out what that need and want is, and hopefully steer them in the right direction so they are getting what they need out of it. But as Tara said, it is about what you put in. So sometimes, all of our members work. So they can't be at every one of our events. We have
Correct.
quite a few. But there's other opportunities through our social media, our Good News page, our website. So we try to make sure we have a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yeah, and the chamber has been around for a long time.
Yes.
How many years has it been? I know you were recognized.
61.
We're in our 61.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I remember at that event at the Troy City Hall.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
good recognition because obviously the Troy Chamber was recognized and you're a new leader. Kim's Restaurant was recognized on that day
Yes.
as well.
Love
So
them.
that was very interesting for us to see from that perspective. So what are some of the things that you would say that would help people do? If they did these things, then they would be able to get the most out of being part of a chamber. So tell us more about that.
I think being active is,
Okay.
the best that you can be. And I think asking the right questions. We don't usually have our members out just shoving business cards in each other's faces. It's much more about that building a relationship. And you're seeing all these new relationships build and new referral lines coming into play of when I know someone's looking for this type of industry, I have a plethora of knowledge of people who I could recommend. And I think once you start having that kind of conversations with each other, the better off we are. So.
And I agree. There are almost, 700 members you have, right? And so it's been growing consistently. And like you said, you have a very diverse group as well. So here are some of the things which come to my mind. So if you're a new entrepreneur, let's say you're like, hey, I need more people to know. So what are some of the things that you do for a new entrepreneur, including obviously, grand opening and cutting ribbons and so on? And so tell us a little bit about what you do for a new person who just joins the chamber, maybe a new business.
A lot of it is sitting down and talking with them, like I said. But something comes to mind that just happened the other day is we had one of our members go to one of the local restaurants, Pokeworks, and they asked, what brought you in? And he's like, well, I met your owner the other day at a Troy Chamber event. And they go, oh, my goodness, we also had 7 other people come in today and say the same thing. So it's just a proof of being able to get involved, but also what they've done is we were at the ribbon cutting and we did share that. They've shared good news. They've shared things coming up. It's a matter of hitting different facets within our membership and within our events and things.
If you're not top of mind, sometimes you get lost.
Yeah.
You will get lost. And I think the part that one of my friends was talking about today is visibility, credibility, and profitability. So the moment you join chamber, I think there goes instantly you increase your credibility. Would you agree with me on that?
100%.
Exactly. And the moment you go to these events, maybe you publicize through the different mediums you have, and we'll talk about that in a minute, suddenly people's visibility and credibility grows up. Now profitability is up to them, obviously.
Absolutely.
They do have to do the business
Yes.
part of it.
Yes.
But I think the chamber helps a lot in increasing that visibility and credibility. So one of the ways that I can easily see people can be more visible is through the medium, like the email. You have group networks which are meeting on a regular basis, I think twice a month. People can join exclusive. These groups are per business, as they know. And obviously there are so many different events, like I think informing the community, like the news you talked about. your city, your county.
Your
Isn't
state,
that
yes.
one of
Yes.
isn't that one of the events
Yep,
which
that
is
one's
coming up?
Actually, February is the 25th?
25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So February 25th, so people can. And I was sitting with Mark, who is the ambassador. I had a great conversation with him on Wednesday.
It's a wonderful event because we're actually having pure business conversations with some of our great leaders. So we actually have our lieutenant governor is going to be speaking, our mayor, our county executive, the SVP for growth for the MEDC. So, I mean, we are bringing some really great speakers to come to the room to have the true discussions of what our businesses want, what our businesses needs, and just be there to help facilitate that conversation.
And I agree with you. I think what happens with a lot of people who are business people, just like me, is like we feel sometimes we're isolated. And the chamber provides that feeling of, hey, I'm not alone. There are other businesses out there as well. They're also trying to figure out some of these things. They're trying to connect and promote. And my goal in this particular show, which is a local business spotlight, is the same goal as well. It's like I want to help connect people. It was interesting. Mark saw one of the video clips of another business. It's like, Minesh, that was an interesting interview. They said something which I never thought could be. So now people are getting some exposure that they would not have otherwise gotten because on their own, advertising can be pretty expensive.
For sure.
Yeah.
And joining a chamber for a very small amount and then being able to showcase your business in so many ways. So Sheila, I think you can help us. What are some of the ways businesses can promote themselves through the chamber?
Like I mentioned, our good news page, being at events. We have a member-to-member discount guide that goes out quarterly. We'll be having that come out mid-February. Different avenues, again, all included with your membership. So it's just simple, and you don't have to give away the house in order to be in the member-to-member discount guide. It's just an opportunity to promote yourself and what you do. And again, I can't say it enough, and Tara hit on it too, it's being top of mind. And that's just being at events when you can, at least once a month, and variety of events. Don't always go to the same event. Try something different.
Exactly. So for those who are dedicated networkers who want to be connecting on a regular basis, they can be part of your networking group that they can join twice a month.
Industry exclusive too.
Industry exclusive. So how many such groups do you have?
Right now we have 8.
8 groups. And they meet at different locations, I'm assuming.
Yes, all located in Troy right now.
All
too.
located in Troy.
We have
right?
one evening one also.
One evening one as well. So those are the opportunities for people who are like, you know what, I would like to be part of a group where I get to meet these people. I promote my message on a consistent basis. That keeps me top of mind. Over a time period, people are like, oh yeah, I know John so well. I know Minesh so well. Now I feel comfortable that I can refer people.
Well, and I think too, like you said, it's sharing your stories. I think a lot of people don't have the opportunity to share their successes with each other. Also, if they can reach out to us, we'll share things on our social media pages. We'll have things on our website. It's specific towards celebrating some of the great things that our members are doing. So you do get to stay top of mind. The power of stories is really what's driving a lot of industry right now. And I think the fact that we can be that resource to help them drive that message just create a substantial amount of greatness for them.
And there's so much good news coming out of Troy. So many great things happening. More restaurants, more hotels, more retail. It's really a good time in Troy.
Well, Troy is, here's the interesting part. Some people, when I tell outside the state, where do you live? The only city they typically know is Detroit. Right? I mean, let's just agree to that. And then say Detroit, their first moment of thinking is, they think about the crime and a few other things about it. I know Detroit is improving a lot, but it may not be the impression in their mind. And I say, I am 30 minutes from Detroit, known as one of the safest cities in the country, right? One of the most thriving communities. Oakland County is one of the most thriving communities in the country. And it's like, wow. And that's what Troy has been, even through recessions and everything else. And you see the big Beaver Road and stuff.
Yes.
It's like, wow. I mean, the changes which have taken place are amazing.
Well, and it's funny, too, because we actually Troy won an award for one of being the most business-friendly communities in the country. So you kind of chuckle about that, but the reality is that we're one of the best cities to be a part of. So we have thriving industry, great school systems, wonderful safety, and just a great city to be in.
Yeah, I know I'm from the Indian community, and maybe you're familiar with this or not. A lot of Indians and Chinese and a few other ethnic groups, they want their children to be in the best academic place possible.
And you are.
And,
and you are.
Well done.
And Troy is the place these people are willing to plunk down any amount of cash to get any property possible so that children can get the advantage of being of in Troy district
Yeah.
schools.
Well, again, it's a great place to live, work, and play. So
Absolutely.
It's a
I totally agree with you. As you know, my in-laws owned the Chinese restaurant in that community for
Yes.
45 years. I've lived in Troy for a long time as well, because I know it's one of those communities where I can have nice parks community-wise. I can have a business community as well. And then you can like enjoy with other people who are like-minded as well. I think it just makes a lot of common sense to do that. So what are some of the other initiatives you might be having that people would want to know about, or at least you can spread the message about in the coming year or so?
Well, I mean, we do have a lot of new ways that we're going to be interacting with our members. So we're going to be starting webcasts, we're going to be starting webinars, podcasts, all of the above. So we've got some really great initiatives coming up because we want to meet our members where they are. And like Sheila said, sometimes they can't get to our events. So we want to make sure that we can provide them with all these tools. But we're doing a lot more around development. We have our young professionals. So it's funny, we just...
I know I can't be part of it.
Neither can I.
Neither are any of us. So Teresa handles that one pretty well.
Yes.
But what was cool is we actually had a member reach out to us, and he said, I go, so what brought you to wanting to join the Troy Chamber? And his response was, I know what you guys are doing to help grow the young professional community, and I have some employees that I think would benefit to learn some of the wonderful things you guys are getting and join very specifically for that, which was a really nice thing to say, that we're really pushing everything forward to give them the tools that they need.
Absolutely. And I mean, there are so many success stories in Troy. And actually, this is one of the places I want them to come and share their success story because they have done the hard work. I mean, I have so many members who have, obviously some have gone through the growing pains and so on, and some have established themselves really, really well. And they are an inspiration to the other people. Or some of them are just brand new. And I think we were talking about one of your members, Donut Bar, as an example, right? Getting your message out when you're relatively new, trying to say, hey, you know what? I want other people to know. And my goal, and I think your goal is the same, we don't want them to be kept the best kept secret.
No, we want to share. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, I noticed you had Eric Meyer on, and he's one that I remember when he was in a room no bigger than this, and now he's got the first floor of one of the buildings on Big Beaver. So that's a success story that I was happy to see shared.
Eric is a great guy,
Yes.
and he is just very helpful kind of person. I've enjoyed interviewing him, obviously, and I was talking to him because I'm a big fan of the Sandler sales system. And the system is more about communicating, getting clear about people's expectations, making sure it's a fit, it's not a fit, and not trying to be pushy. And I like that part of the system, and Eric is a great example.
Yes.
He has quite a few sales coaches in his team now. And he has 3 offices, actually, Lansing and Grand Rapids included. So Troy, Lansing, and Grand Rapids. So he's a busy man making things happen. He has young babies as well. But I love to feature these stories.
Yeah.
And I had Ethan Baker on here as well before he actually got elected. And he's somebody I've known for a while. He's a young man, has a business of his own. And those people help us bring together, because at times we feel we are alone.
Yeah.
And when you provide as a chamber the support system, people don't feel like, man, I have to do all of this alone.
Well, it's funny you bring up that. So one of the things that we do really well is we have a nonprofit conference where we bring all these nonprofits together. We have, over 60 nonprofit members right now?
Congratulations.
But what's nice about it is that they are those people saying, I'm by myself. We're all trying to fundraise. We're all trying to do this. I don't know how to do this yet. But we actually have them meet every single month. They go to this conference as well. And then actually the proceeds that we receive from that, we share with them as well. So it's funny. As we all know, all ships rise together. So we are trying to make sure we can all take care of each other.
Wow. So thanks again for coming. I really enjoyed our conversation. Any last thoughts from you, Tara and Sheila here?
I would just say, if you have any questions, please feel free to go to our website at troychamber.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And yes, look at our website, look at our members, frequent our members, shop our members, eat our members, restaurants, and just take a look at what the great team that we have.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming, and I'm looking forward to being a part of the chamber, continuing to add value, and obviously getting the support that I could use in my business.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.